through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it aloud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key, make the big switch. Power to the people, time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him, he's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules, a new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new. A financial revolution, fair and true. For the workers, the dreamers, side by side. In Trump's new era, let freedom rise. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last.
Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Cryptonaut channel. I am Zester, and thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I hope everyone is having an awesome Friday. Hope everyone's week has gone well, and I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is excited for a little bit of crypto news today. There's a few interesting stories actually that have popped up out of nowhere, and so I'm kind of excited to share them. Maybe not as exciting as some days. You know, some days you just get juicier information coming from the crypto folks and the different cryptocurrency companies. But today we've got some pretty darn interesting ones. So first things first, let's say hello to everybody, and then let's jump into it. And also, I got very distracted right before the stream, so we're going to talk about something that's not cryptocurrency related, but I guess it's tech related. And so we're going to talk about that also today, because I'm curious if y'all had heard this. And I'm also curious whether it's true or not, because I found this like right before I went to start the stream. This popped up and it immediately distracted me. So we'll be talking about that also. So a little bit of a random topic today for our crypto chat. But first things first, good morning, Mile High Trish. Good morning, Nancy, K-Love. And also to everyone out there, Kukla is not with us this morning, but that is because her niece is possibly going to be having a babe this morning. And so thoughts and prayers for Kukla's niece on that one. That is a very, very exciting moment. So hoping to get some cool info on that one at some point today. All right, back to saying good mornings. What's up? Oh, Nancy. I'm done with Lobster / MoonPay. Considering removing the cash and putting it into Coinbase to have to resolve the withdrawal that didn't make it to my account before I can trust them. Unless there's a way to send a request for crypto from Coinbase. Nancy, absolutely get out of Lobster. Lobster stinks. It really is bad. It doesn't work properly. It's got a variety of different issues. And also it's been plagued by scam assets. Far too many times at this point for them to really have any excuse for it. And so Nancy, absolutely. As a matter of fact, though, Nancy, with everything going on, and I'm about to show you something during today's stream, actually, Nancy, I'm considering switching from my official exchange being Coinbase to being Gemini. And you'll actually see why later in the stream today, because they have just added a very, very, very cool functionality in regards to staking on the Gemini exchange. And so, yep, I would. Mile High Trish, you got it. Mile High Trish says, if you don't want Coinbase, Gemini works very well. Absolutely. I'm starting to lean towards Gemini in a lot of ways. I'm never going to get rid of my Coinbase account, but Gemini is working very, very well. Mile High Trish says, I was sucked into the lobster hype a long time ago and realized what trash it was. MoonPay is a whole different story. Let's just say we don't like each other. MoonPay are thieves. MoonPay, highway robbery is what they commit when you make a purchase through MoonPay. It's convenient sometimes, but it's always highway robbery. All right. But yeah, we'll talk about that one today. We will talk about that one. Unfortunately, Nancy, there's not a way to essentially send a request from one. There are ways to send a request from a Coinbase account to another Coinbase account. There's not a way to send a request from a Coinbase account to a Lobster account, unfortunately. But we can get that one fixed for you. No worries. Epicenter LLC. Good morning, Zester. Oh, good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning, Crazy Chester. Good morning, NM Hiker. Good morning, Mary Jones. Good morning. Yes, an important one that I always like to try and avoid. Remember, please, folks, that the content of this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes, not intended to provide financial advice. Please consult with a financial professional before making investment decisions. Thank you, Trish, for making certain I get that one. Hey, I'm pretty excited today, actually. And yes, guys, we do have, as a matter of fact, we have a first going on right now. And I don't even know how to hide my name, actually. That is Tina. Tina is actually up and sitting and watching out the windows. She doesn't do this normally. But for some reason, Tina has decided that Tina wants her time at the window. And so it looks like I'm going to have to get that third cat hammock. And we're going to end up with a 3-tiered system back here because Tommy is never leaving his spot. And now Tino and Tina are having to fight over Tina's spot. And so I have a feeling that third hammock is going to have to be put up. Greetings, Christina. What's up, Neil? Howdy, Zester from rainy Graham, North Carolina. Rainy and cold, I heard, Neil, but I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you are. Oh, Neil Brooks. So, Zester, I was thinking of buying my great-grandchildren and grandchildren a Ledger Flex. They age 15 to 10 years if I leave. And, well, a great thing with that one, Neil, is to just put a little bit on it. And that's something that you can very, very easily have that be something that you can give someone. And you really can do it without it being caught up in the whole idea of inheritance. You can go ahead and you can set that ledger up, Neil, and you can start making purchases on it. And the great thing about this, Neil, is those purchases are gifts. They're not taxable. And so, of course, this is not financial advice. Consult with an accountant. But, Neil, a great thing that you can do for those future generations is you can get that ledger. You can start making purchases, small purchases, get them a little bit of crypto, put a little bit of different things on it. That is considered a gift because you're giving a gift. You can give like $13,000 a year as a gift to someone, untaxable. But then it gets to continue appreciating along the way. And so, Neil, it's actually a very, very, very awesome thing that you can give future generations. I think in all honesty, that you know, if you were to go down 100 years down the road, there would probably be future generations of your family that would be living in penthouses because you bought 100 extra. You put small amounts of crypto in now, and then you throw that into a wallet like that. It is never going away. In 100 years, a future Neil family member could open that up and it'll be worth a fortune. It's the idea of essentially the same way that if you had placed, you know, a couple $1,000 in a fairly reasonable compounding interest bank account back in the 1930s, where would you be today? You'd have a lot of money. And so that would be very, very cool, Neil. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. Another way that I've heard, and actually this is from someone in the community, they actually have an agreement set up with their lawyers. And so their law group, essentially, that their family works with, have security boxes in a bank. Those are maintained by the law firm. The law firm has a legal obligation to maintain that throughout the generations. And they are essentially going to open a security, a safety deposit box for each following generation of that family. They will have a new crypto wallet that opens. It's who knows how valuable those wallets will be, but I thought it was very, very cool. Yes, Tina is in the window and she is just having a great time. She's over here licking herself and then hanging out. She's been being cute. Yep. Yeah, absolutely, Neil. Yeah, you can throw those on there. It's a learning experience for them, but it's also something that you can really have a lot of control over, Neil. You can make that something that you can give them now, but you cannot give them access until a certain time. So, they have it, they're responsible for it. And yet you can also kind of set the rules of, okay, here's what you're going to spend the money on, or here's what you're going to do with it, things like that. Okay, look who's underdog. What is a Ledger Flex? And where do I get it? Oh, that's a great question. Look who's underdog. And so the best place to get the link that's going to give you some free money for making the purchase is to actually go into the description and go to my link tree. Because that'll take you directly to the Ledger website. And that is just going to make certain that you don't buy the wrong one and you don't buy it from, a shady actor. And so if you go down to the Linktree link below and you click on Linktree in the description, it'll pop up like this. Look who's underdog. You'll go down to Ledger hardware wallets and click on it. And what you'll see here is that because you use this link, you're actually going to get free crypto back. And so then you just come on down to the Ledger Flex. And then look, you would actually get $70 of Bitcoin back for purchasing a Ledger Flex because you use the link. So definitely use those links. That's like a really, really big free way to make the cost of your Ledger hardware wallet or any hardware wallet a lot cheaper. Because yeah, it's $80 of Bitcoin for free. If you get the Ledger Stack, $70 of Bitcoin free if you get the Ledger Flex. The Ledger Nano X looks like you don't get anything because it's actually 50% off right now. S plus $10 of Bitcoin back. And so those are very, very cool offers. Look who's underdog. And they're very important because when you make the purchase this way, your hardware wallet is coming from the factory. There's never been an opportunity for someone to pull some shenanigans on you and put any type of, malicious software on it. No more silly fake tax rules. Absolutely, Nancy K. We're moving towards it. But we have to remember that, rules are the rules. We operate under the system that we're currently having to live underneath, plan for the system we're going to be living underneath. It's a great idea for grandchildren and kiddos because they've got the time. They've got all the time in the world. And so if you were to think about if you had bought XRP 10 years ago, $100 of XRP 10 years ago, you'd be in a very, very, very good position right now. And so if you take that time scale and you stretch it out for the grandkids, for the future generations, it gets insane. You're talking about you spending a couple of $100, maybe spending $50 every Christmas, putting that money in, making that investment for them, and you might pay for their college. You might even buy them their first house. It's crazy to think about. Nature girl, hey Zester, can you do something about the fact that my crypto balance is going in the wrong direction? I wish I could, Nature Girl. I wish I could on that one. Mine is doing the same. Mine is doing the same. And so if it gives you any constant, any feeling of reassurance, don't worry, Nature Girl. We're going through it together. Don't do not worry. Do not worry on that one. And so with that, let's actually go ahead and jump into some of our stories today that we're going to be going through. Well, we've got some kind of cool ones. It ended up being way cooler than I expected in terms of the news today because it's been a very, very boring week for crypto. The news has been good most of the time. Besides overall outflow numbers from ETFs, they have not been good. Lots of people in traditional finance pulling dollars out, reshuffling their portfolios. That hasn't been necessarily positive, but otherwise, news has been extremely positive on the crypto side. But the market would tend to not agree. Ultimately, we've got Bitcoin sitting at 88,000, Ethereum barely over 3, XRP barely over 2. Overall market cap sitting at 3.1 trillion. And so not as bad as it was a week or so ago, but we've definitely not had a major recovery, despite having some fairly interesting things go on, especially this morning. The CFTC has approved spot crypto trading on regulated U.S. exchanges. What does this mean? As CFTC approves first ever crypto spot trading on U.S. regulated exchanging, opening new opportunities for traders. This decision marks a significant step in advancing the U.S. vision to become global leader in crypto markets. CFTC registered futures exchanges will now allow spot crypto products to be traded under regulated conditions. Acting Chairman Carolyn Pham emphasized the importance of offering Americans safe and regulated crypto markets. Bitnomial, a regulated exchange, will launch the first ever leveraged retail spot exchange under CFTC rules. What does this genuinely mean, though, guys? It means that what you're going to start seeing now, because of this ruling from the CFTC, is you're going to start seeing the ability to directly invest in cryptocurrencies available on what would be for the average investor on a typical stock market exchange. You'll be able to start actually directly investing in them. The custodianship of this is still kind of weird because this is a different situation. You are actually buying the crypto, but they are the custodian of it. Now, for many people, this is a good thing in traditional finance. This takes liability and places it upon the financial institutions. Many people are going to view this as a good thing. And it should, absolutely should, result in a lot more activity from folks in their retirement funds, their pension funds, things like that, participating in actually holding crypto, at least in actually holding the asset. And so that's what makes this one kind of more exciting. It's another one of the ETF type deals where it's a financial vehicle. It's designed for people in specific financial situations and with specific financial concerns. I don't want one. I am not going to be going out and buying spot crypto on the stock exchange. I'm going to buy the cryptocurrency itself, and I'm going to be the one who holds it. So this isn't for me. This probably isn't for many people in the community, but it might also be for you. Because if you do have things like IRAs, if you do have structured retirement plans, this enters into the situation where you're capable of participating. And so this might take dollars that you weren't able to invest in crypto and allow you to gain exposure to cryptocurrency markets with it. It's regulated, it's protected. For many people, it's going to feel safer. And so it is a positive ruling. It's very, very good news. It will help many folks out there. For me personally, I don't have a retirement plan. through any type of IRA, 401k, et cetera, or any pension plan or the like. And so I'm not really going to be participating personally. But I'm very happy because I benefit from the people that are going to be participating personally. They are going to benefit me because in this situation, these dollars are actually buying the crypto. That's a distinction between some of the other ETFs where they are providing essentially monetary instruments to gain leverage and exposure. They're not actually participating. This is a good thing, but notice one word. And I imagine somebody has probably already even pointed out the word that I'm going to be angry about. But the word is sitting right here, leveraged. Leveraged retail spot. I am not happy about that. Everyone knows my opinions on leverage. I do not believe that it should be legal, but yes, this is going to allow for retail investors to participate in leveraged positions in cryptocurrency through the stock market. And so in that regard, is that a good, in one way, it could almost be viewed as a good thing. They're viewing cryptocurrency in the same way that they're viewing other assets. It's positive in that way. It's negative because we really need to get leverage out of our financial markets, not just cryptocurrency. We need to get leverage out of all of our markets. Leverage is a game built by financial institutions for financial institutions. They make them up. They make markets, is what they say. AKA, it's make believe. It's made up for them. They make the rules. They set the game because they plan on winning the game. I think it should just be entirely removed. And I would be happy to have a very, very, very public debate with any economist or financier who believes that there is a logical good, a benefit to society being provided by these leveraged positions. I think that they will very, very quickly see that there is actually no moral logic behind why these are considered to be legal. They're gambling in the barest sense of gambling, and they provide no market benefit. Folks say, oh, they help with price correction. They help with finding true market value. That is a whole buttload of bull crap. A whole buttload of bull crap. But going on to our next one, another one I'm very, very excited about. And actually, this one came out of nowhere. Texas. Texas has become the first U.S. state to purchase and hold Bitcoin. And it made that purchase during a market downturn. And so Texas has become the first U.S. state to officially purchase and hold Bitcoin, acquiring $5 million worth of BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin Trust, IBIT, and authorizing another $5 million for direct self-custodied Bitcoin. This move comes at an unexpected moment, a market downturn marked by ETF outflows, institutional caution, and stalled legislative efforts around the country. Despite all of that, Texas is moving forward. And they're actually striking really when the iron is hot by going ahead and making the purchase while the market is down. Now, earlier this year, we had dozens of U.S. states that had introduced bills and legislation that were all in direct support towards the Bitcoin Act of 2024, 2025, will end up being the Bitcoin Act of 2026, guys. It will eventually pass, where it laid out that the United States was going to revalue all of the Federal Reserve gold, remove all of the funds from the Federal Reserve banks, and establish a decentralized treasury of gold and digital currencies. The U.S. government has already showed you on the Senate floor. Trump supports the bill. It continues to be discussed regularly in front of Congress. It's going to eventually happen. And we're seeing states that have also picked up that mantle, primarily all Republican states at this point in time that are planning on establishing their own, because the Bitcoin Act, the federal level Bitcoin Act, calls for states to establish their own state treasury reserves. And so Texas has taken on this with gusto and has become the official first. Very, very excited for Texas. And also some interesting ones here in terms of Greg Abbott, because Texas Governor Greg Abbott has publicly supported Bitcoin now for more than a decade. In a 2014 campaign video referenced in the podcast episode, Greg Abbott back in 2014 said Bitcoin is a new and decentralized digital currency. It enables instant financial transactions safely and securely. Now, this stance has continued up to this date. Texas is getting involved early on in this process because we see the future of what Bitcoin and what blockchain means to the entire world. I thought this was awesome. Awesome to be making this move. Texas is not only now making a move towards cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, Texas also has ongoing plans towards gold and silver. Texas is really, as a state, trying to take their financial future into their own hands. And so I thought this was too cool. I was quite excited to see Texas come in number one on it. I'm not certain. Drambo, though, wonder if Texas used some of the Texas State Metal Vaults accounts. Hopefully they move the falling fiat instead. D. Rambo, I am not positive on where the funding came from, except that the funding was actually set out in the Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act that they passed back in June of 2025. So the rules on how they find funding for these purchases are directly tied to state law. And so that would require a little bit more of a deep dive. Crazy Chester, got fired from my job as a masseuse. Apparently I rub people the wrong way. Well, hopefully, Crazy Chester, you aren't on any of the registries after losing that massage job. All right, jumping to our next one, though. We got the CFTC XRP. Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. I've got a very exciting bit of XRP news, but let's go ahead and talk about the less exciting XRP news. XRP hit by a renewed flood storm as social buzz turns negative. Sentiment's latest sentiment readings show XRP slipping into its fear zone as bearish comments increasingly outweigh bullish ones. XRP trading near $2 on Friday as traders wade through another wave of fear and doubt, FUD, as it's regularly called, with new data from Sentiment showing social chatter around the token turning sharply negative after a 2-month slide of about 31%. What this is actually tracking, guys, is this is a different statistic, a different metric that a lot of people in cryptocurrency like to use. And it's not about holders or volume or things of that nature. What they're actually doing is they're going through and looking at all the social media posts. And they're saying, how is the sentiment? Are people posting positively about this crypto or negatively about this cryptocurrency? XRP is going through a very, very, very negative social trend. Essentially, what used to be a lot of people talking positively about XRP on social media, now there's a lot of people talking negatively about XRP on social media. Whether this is planned or something of that nature, whether it's intentional, I really can't tell you. I'm not certain. But it has become a fairly valuable statistic to be aware of in terms of how your cryptocurrency is currently doing. Right now, the markets are filled with fear and doubt. And so it's not just XRP. It's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, it's all the cryptos, it's the stock market, it's really everything in the world financially right now. Is in very much a state of fear. But XRP in particular seems to be having some seriously negative trends on this side, which is interesting to see. And so I don't view this as being overly negative, but it is an interesting statistic to always be aware of, is that we are having an extreme time of fear in the XRP community. And so it's not just you. You probably have seen this. You've probably experienced it. If you've been an XRP holder, you undoubtedly follow other folks that hold XRP. You may be able to even say that you have noticed this. I know I have. I've noticed more negative social media postings about XRP recently. And yes, and typically speaking, if you want to go with the Warren Buffett type approach to it, when there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. And we're definitely entering into one of those phases with XRP right now, where overall sentiment is very, very low, but it doesn't make sense. XRP has so much positive going on that it really doesn't make sense to have this degree of negativity around the entire community. It's very much feeling like it's either it is people having either it is people kind of being tricked into being overly fearful, or it is just kind of a natural degree of impatience that has really absorbed the XRP community, which I think that there's probably more truth there than anything. It's a degree of impatience in the community that's currently going on. We all know what the future could potentially hold for us. And so I think it's a little frustrating to see how slow we are getting there in certain regards. But on that front, something I'm quite excited about on the XRP side is actually this. And so I was going to show and do a little cover over the Gemini account, kind of showing how we were going in regards to the challenge, our challenge from zero to retirement without buying cryptocurrencies. We were going to do an update. We were a little bit down on the Monad purchase, but this popped up. And so I intentionally did not continue on with the page because this popped in. Earn up to 4% APR on stablecoins. Grow your balance by earning rewards on your Ripple USD balance. Earn 4% APR. Automatic monthly payouts every month. You will be rewarded in RLUSD for holding RLUSD on the Gemini exchange. There are no caps on the rewards, no limits. The more you hold, the more you earn. No lockups. You have full access to your funds while accruing rewards daily. And so you get to keep your dollars sitting in RLUSD. You get to spend them immediately. You get to do anything you want with them. But while they are sitting in your account, you could be earning up to 4% APR on your RLUSD. This is extremely exciting, guys, because this is going to lock up a lot more money into RLUSD. RLUSD is the stable coin of the Ripple blockchain. And so remember that Coinbase has all of these programs to benefit USDC holders. This provides a lot of value to Ripple because now people are going to be sitting there and holding, instead of holding $10,000 in your bank account, why would you not be holding 10,000 RLUSD? Earning 4% APR, no risk at all because your funds are not being used for anything. They're not being spent. They're not being loaned. They're not being risked. It is your dollars. You get to now earn 4% without risking it, and you can spend it whenever you want. This is more showing what the power and value of stablecoins are and showing what the power and value of Ripple coming out with RLUSD really was about. It's not about holding XRP. It's the value this provides to holders of XRP because now I can have those dollars that I'm holding on the sidelines in order to make purchases when the price goes down, or in order to be able to pay the bills when I have a bad month, or I get into a pop a tire. In order to have that, I can now have those funds sitting in Gemini in RLUSD, earning me an interest. But then if I have an emergency, I can immediately deploy that capital. I can solve the problem, and I can still keep all the rewards that I earned along the way. And so this is very, very cool. Your RLUSD is always just going to be worth $1. But now you get to hold on to your dollars and you get to also earn a very, very safe return regularly. And so Gemini is kicking butt right now with their partnership with XRP. Remember, that's the reason we started on this entire journey with Gemini, was because of the Gemini XRP partnership. They partnered up, they started providing XRP cards, they started providing rewards in XRP. Now they're providing more rewards for the XRP stablecoin. I have a feeling Gemini is trying to establish themselves as really being the official exchange for US customers who hold XRP, XLM, and the like. It seems like they are very much positioning themselves that way. Epicenter LLC, can that be transferred the Gemini card for general use? Yes, it can. And so Epicenter, you can actually pay your bill with it. And so let's go back over here. I'm going to opt in to start earning. And so what you can actually do, Epicenter, and this is really, really cool, you could pay your bill with it. And so I currently have a balance of $860 on my card. Payment is due December 26th. I could make that payment in the stablecoin if I so chose Epicenter. And so you can actually choose to pay it that way. And so, yes, you could essentially be going ahead and putting the funds you are planning on paying off the card with in there, collecting that interest for the month, and then paying off the card that you have been earning all of your XRP rewards with. Because remember, yes, it's still 5% back on everything in your crypto of choice until the 7th. And so 2 more days on that one. And so very, very, very cool. I was super excited to see the RLUSD added. And there's one other thing that I did want to show everyone on Gemini while we're here today. Overall, in terms of our challenge, we are currently sitting at loading. We'll get there in just a second, I'm certain. Currently sitting at $886.94 in the challenge via Gemini. That is split between, specifically, we have got primarily XRP, 388 XRP, and then we've got 3,642 Monad. That Monad has gone down fairly substantially over the past couple of days, and well, XRP hasn't really been doing all that well itself. And so currently sitting at 886 as of right now on the challenge. And there was something I wanted to show everyone about it. And so I wanted to come over to staking on Gemini. I wanted to show everyone how easy this is. And so Gemini allows for staking with Monad, Solana, and Ethereum. If you have RLUSD, like we just talked about, you don't even have to do anything. You just collect interest because it's in the account. You don't even have to do anything for it. But this is different. And so if you wanted to stake a crypto on Gemini, in this case, I would like to stake the Monad that we have. I'm going to click stake right here. I'm going to go ahead and transfer the entire amount. So I'm going to go with all max down here. And so I'm going to put all the Monad that we have in the portfolio into staking, earning up to 12% APR. I'm going to review stake. It's going to give me kind of the details, my APR up to 12% APR. It's coming from my trading balance and it's moving over to my staking balance. Confirm order. Success. You have staked your Monad. You will begin receiving rewards when your Monad is moved on chain. View details to check the status of your stake. So I can click on details. That'll show me the status of my staked allocation, how it's doing, and it'll also start collecting my rewards right here so that I'll be able to see just how well this little staking enterprise ends up actually doing. And so I wanted to show everyone that because of how easy it is on Gemini. If you do have things like Ethereum, Solana, Monad now. And in that case, it's very, very easy to start staking them. And as a matter of fact, if you actually collect your rewards in the form of one of these cryptos, you can actually have it automatically stake it. And so you collect a reward, it automatically stakes your reward. And so if you were collecting Solana, as an example, it would immediately go in and start earning an APR from your rewards, which is very, very cool. Makes it a lot easier on you from a standpoint of you having to go through and click extra buttons. You don't even have to do anything. You just set it up, set your rewards, and you start earning staking rewards on top of your rewards for utilizing the card. So that one I thought was very, very cool. I was excited to show that one to everyone. And now for my last completely non-crypto related conversation. And so if anyone has a question, I'm happy to answer it. But otherwise, I would like to see whether I am the only one who has been hearing about this story. And I want y'all's opinion. So this is absolutely off the crypto train for half a second. But this popped up right before I went to go live. I'd seen it a few days ago, but I hadn't really spent any time paying attention to it. I decided to spend a little bit of time this morning, and now I'm very confused about this. And I proved that I actually found out it's true. And so very, very recently, we had the very, very tragic situation occur in Washington, D.C. with the National Guard. It's gotten tons of publicity and everything of that nature. And well, what we've also gotten is a confirmation that this statement appears to be true. The name of Sarah Beckstrom, the National Guard member murdered by Afghan CIA asset in D.C., was Googled by someone in Israel days before the shooting. Google removed the records now. And so 25 different times, 2 days before something happened to Sarah, her exact name was searched in Israel 25 times. Her name had not been searched in Israel essentially ever. And so this was very, very, very unique. 25 times in the country of Israel, Sarah Beckstrom's name was searched 2 days before the incident occurred. And Google removed the records of this having occurred. And so this is very, very easy to prove that it was there because of the Wayback Machine. So we know it was there, but now it has been removed. And I actually came over and I checked. It has been removed. It has actually been removed from the Google searches, but it used to be there. And it's very, very obviously confirmed as having existing there through the Wayback Machine, multiple different accounts, multiple different recorded videos. Very, very obviously it was there. And in regards to Sarah Beckstrom, 2 days before the incident occurred in Washington, D.C., have y'all been seeing or hearing things about this? Or was this something that just popped up on my feed for some reason? That's why I was very curious. For me, the more interesting thing here was, one, is it true? Two, why am I being fed this information at this point in time? So I was very curious to get y'all's opinion on that one and to see if y'all were seeing things similar to it pop up on your feeds or whether this was a unique thing. Very curious on that one. Very, very curious. Of course, I also probably should not have brought it up, being considering the nature of talking about such subjects on YouTube. It might have been a little bit of a foolhardy topic to bring up, but I found it to be particularly interesting. And so please, guys, shoot a message over in the Telegram later today. If you see this one and you've seen stuff about this, or you have any information on which parts of it are true or false, things of that nature, please pop on over to Voices of Freedom and let us know about it, because this is a very, very interesting one, but I'm not certain what to genuinely believe in regards to it. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised, I guess. This one's an odd one. And so I'm curious, guys. Do pop on over if you've seen things about this, if this made you curious also. Because I am. This one just seems so odd for this to pop up. And for this one to be getting kind of fed through my algorithm at this point in time. D Rambo, I have not heard anything about this, but would not be surprised if it's true. NM Hiker, honestly, I haven't watched or heard anything. I'm so tired of all the lies. Absolutely tired on all of the lies, NM Hiker. Absolutely. And this one's just, it popped up. I did some quick searches on it. As a matter of fact, I was a minute or so late starting the stream because I got down into the rabbit hole on this one. And everything I had found up to that point was continuing to verify that it was true. And so that leads me to wonder why this information wasn't being immediately shared around. It didn't immediately go viral, but for some reason now it seems to be very easy to find evidence saying that it's true. So just an odd one. Curious what everyone else had seen. And so please do pop into Telegram and let us know on that one if you've seen stuff about it. And so with all of that said, thank you guys so much for joining this Friday. Very excited about RLUSD popping onto a US exchange with a staking reward. That's very valuable because it starts to lock up funds. It's going to make Ripple a lot of money, essentially. And the more money that Ripple Labs, the company, is making, the more volume, the more strength that XRP as a coin is going to have. It is very positive. It's much easier for us as US residents also, or even just people in any country that's kind of had the whole XRP crusade. This is going to make it much, much easier for us to participate in RLUSD. You're now able to just go on to Gemini, buy RLUSD, earn a reward off of holding it, and then go to the grocery store and spend that money when you need to. It's very, very cool. It's a huge win for the XRP ecosystem on the whole. And so I'm also looking forward to future things now from Gemini on that front, because they launched the XRP Gemini card, XRP rewards. Now they launched the XRP stablecoin. I have a feeling Gemini is going to have some more exciting XRP related announcements in the coming months. It seems like their partnership was far more than just a press announcement. It seems like they're legitimately partners on this entire endeavor. And so that is exciting. If anything, it's just exciting that we get much easier access to the different offerings from Ripple Labs. So thank you guys all so much for joining. Love you all. Everyone have an amazing, amazing weekend. I do have a video that I'm trying to get finished up and recorded, talking with a community member who has dealt with some of the different scams going on out there. And so that's a video that I'm very excited to put out, but I'm also not excited because it's not a fun story to talk about. But it's very important from an educational standpoint for everyone to hear it, and to hear just how some of these scams have been committed online against members of the community. I think it's going to be very valuable for everyone, and a very interesting interview. And so that's something to look forward to. That should be coming very, very soon as well. All right, though. Love you guys. All the kitty cats. Well, if they woke up, I'm certain they would say goodbye, but they're busy napping. And so I'll say goodbye for you, for them. Tina and Tommy and Tino all wish everyone an amazing, amazing weekend. See you guys.